Picture this. You need to leave in 5 minutes or you're going to be late. The problem is that the outfit that you had in mind just isn't working, so you're kind of panicking. If you find yourself in this situation often, then this video is for you. Before we dive in, if you're new here, my name is Louise and I talk about how to engage with fashion in more conscious and sustainable ways. If you watched some of my previous videos, you will have heard me talk about the importance of outfit planning. The reason why I find outfit planning so important is that getting dressed in the morning can be really difficult if you're unsure about your style. Outfit planning is a way for you to understand your style a bit better because it's very hands-on and practical. I just find that it doesn't get more real than trying on the clothes that are hanging in your closet and trying to find new combinations. As you start laying out your outfits, you're also going to get a better sense of what works for you and what doesn't. It's also a great way to see how trendy items will or won't fit in with the rest of your closet, because you will get a better sense of what items you have and what items suit you. And this will potentially save you from ending up with purchases that you regret. So as promised in one of my previous videos, today I'm going to be sharing with you how I plan my outfits in Google Sheets. I've also recently started using Canva as a second tool as a part of this process to help me visualize the outfits that I combine, but I'm going to get more into that a bit later. If you're not very familiar with these tools, then maybe it's good to do a quick course just to explore how they work. But don't stress if you're not an expert. My document is not very advanced, and so I think you'll see the logic in it pretty fast. So anyway, let's take a look. So my document consists of 3 tabs. In the first tab, I've named it Inventory. And in this tab, I've done exactly what it says. I've done an inventory of all of my clothes, and I'm not gonna lie, this is time consuming, but if you want the system to work, then this step is crucial. To make it a little bit easier, I recommend that you divide your closet into 2 seasons, especially if you live in a country like Sweden that I do, which has primarily 2 seasons. It's either cold or warm. So I've divided mine into spring, summer, autumn, winter. We're in November now, so in my case, I focused on doing an inventory of my autumn winter closet. So just to disclaim, the items that we're looking at here are not all of the clothes that I own. I used to have a different spreadsheet, but I've recently created this new system, which is the one that I'm showing you today. So if we look a bit closer at the inventory tab, you can see that I have created different tables for different categories of my clothes. I've done one for bottoms, one for tops, one for outerwear, one for bags, and one for shoes. In each table, I have columns for the name of the item, the type of item, the color, the brand, and the season. Now, there are different ways that you can do this, of course. You may want to keep your warm summer closet entirely separate from your winter closet, but because I've added all of these items in a drop-down menu, I have also the option to filter by season because there are some pieces that I think applies to both. All of the columns that I've made are made with a filter. So for example, if I want to find a pair of jeans that are blue, I can easily do so by using the drop down function. It's also a great way to see which brands you favor, and I've actually learned a lot from my own inventory. I realized that I tend to favor sweaters from COS. So the next time that I need a new sweater, I know that that is the brand that works for me. You may also consider adding a cost per wear column. This is not something that I've done myself yet, but I added a function in the CPW column so that it automatically calculates for me once I add a new value in the worn column. And I've talked about this a little bit previously in a video that I spoke about cost per wear. So if you haven't watched that yet, you should. Then the reason why I've divided divided it into different tables is because I want to separate my clothing items clearly. When it comes to the next step of planning my outfits, the Google Sheets will be able to pull data from each of these tables separately. Okay, so let's jump into the second tab called outfits. And when it comes to planning your outfits, I always start with these 5 categories. So as you can see, I haven't added all of my accessories or jewelry here yet, but you can of course do that if you find it helpful. In the tops column here, I have selected the checkbox that allows me to pull more than one top, which I think is useful for outfits where I want to layer. So for instance, I may want to use a t-shirt underneath my sweater, as we do when it's cold. So here are 12 outfits that I've put together using the items from the previous tab, inventory. And for each column, I've added data validation criteria so that it pulls data from the name of item column in the inventory tab, and more specifically, the column bottoms will pull data from the bottoms table so that the items in the drop-down list are only bottoms. So you will need to specify bottoms and name of item in the data validation section. So basically what this data validation does is that it allows you to insert the same drop-down items from the inventory table here. So you won't need to add the items again, thankfully, and it also makes it a lot easier to separate the data. So I will only be able to choose the bottoms in the drop-down menu for the bottoms column. If we zoom out a little bit, this tab consists of the columns bottom, top, jacket, shoes, bags, and other. So of course you can add more columns if you need to. You can also consider naming your outfit something a little bit more fun than simply outfit 1, outfit 2, etc. Let's look at the third tab, which is called outfits, and the purpose of this tab is to find what outfit works for which occasions or even types of weather. So here I can also add a date for when I plan to wear it or when I have worn it. I can also write a note like, I wore this to dinner, but I realized that the skirt was a little bit too uncomfortable, or whatever. So however, with all of this said, planning in Google Sheets can be a bit too rigid for my taste. So instead, or as an addition to this, I've also started using Canva, which is a basically like creative tool that I use a lot for my work. Basically what I've done is that following the inventory of my closet, I've started also adding pictures of my clothes into an empty presentation, and then I've categorized them in the same way as in my Google Sheets documents. So some of the items are my own photos, some are similar looking items that I found online, but the point is to get a visual overview of your closet. Then what I've done, whenever I found an image of an outfit that I like, I've also added that photo to the presentation, and I've tried to recreate that outfit using clothes from my own closet. But it's also a really great way to digitally try on my outfits when I'm thinking about them, and to see all of these outfits from my Google Sheets come to life a little bit more than they would in just the tables and columns environment that exists within the sheet. So it's just a more fun and I think like scrapbooky way of doing it. So I use a combination of Google Sheets and Canva. I would say if you're more like data driven and love lists like me, then Google Sheets is the tool for you. However, if you're more creative and you find Google Sheets a little bit difficult, then I recommend Canva. I also recommend planning as you go. So I work in marketing, and part of my job is to create content for my clients. I usually plan content a month in advance, and I found that a similar rotation works for my outfit because I don't want to plan too far in advance because I still want my items to feel fresh and new and exciting when I wear them. I also get new ideas and inspiration constantly, and I also want to be able to try new combinations often. So I don't think that you need to necessarily plan your whole year in clothes all at once. Like, of course, you're gonna come up with new ideas as you go, and so this should be a living document for sure. I don't think it's fun or very smart to try and plan your whole life out from the very start. Anyway, that is it for today's video. Let me know if you also plan your outfits, and if you do, how do you do it? I realized that this need for like planning and organizing is a bit wild and not for everyone. I'm a Virgo, by the way. But give this video a thumbs up if you like the idea of planning in Google Sheets, and if you'd like a document like mine to plan your outfits, or write me a comment down below what you think about this process. Maybe you're like, Louise, this is far too much, like just wear the jeans and head out the door. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, then please feel free to share this video with a friend. Maybe leave me a comment down below and subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week, so I wish you the best week ahead, and I will see you again next Sunday. Bye!